Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
First down at 10 at their own 10-yard line. Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randall L. scrambles, started off the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall L. touchdown. Rory going to the single coverage, end zone. Touchdown! He hits Cooper again.
Welcome to the Hoosier Happy Hour podcast. It's another matinee feature for you guys. You guys don't get it till tomorrow anyway. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it's cool to record when the sun's out, I think.
And the guns are out.
The guns are out at your house. I am wearing a sweatshirt.
What do you keep your house at?
Cold, man. 66 during the winter.
Yes, you want to know? Mine starts with a 7. It's normally 70, 71. Yeah.
We got a hot house, though, bro. Like, it's like upstairs, obviously, where everybody's sleeping. All of our bedrooms are upstairs. Any of those, especially the bigger boys who room together, which we were not expecting, but they room together. And their room gets hot, like
a lot of heat.
Even if I turn it up to 67, it gets super hot.
So, that's good for your energy, Bill. Good for your energy.
Yeah, we try.
But anyway, that's why I'm always wearing a t-shirt, because my house is it's comfortable. I don't need a sweatshirt. You will need a sweatshirt if you're going to this game on Saturday, though.
Yes, we will. You will. I'm not going to the game, but you'll need one. I have the fan on. That's what I was pointing at. You can't see it because my camera doesn't move with my finger, but I do have the fan on in the room that I'm recording in the studio is what we would call it. All right, back to what the game is. You kind of gave me a transition and I pooped on it. So
you did. You did not take it. You did not shoot the gap.
Nah, speaking of poop, we are here to...
It was kind of a Nick Singleton run. Like, I gave you a Katron Allen run, and you took a Nick Singleton
I took a Nick Singleton. Nick Singleton plays for Penn State, and that's what we're here to preview. IU's matchup at Penn State this weekend. Game number 10 on the schedule. Penn State coming in not great on a 5-game losing streak. Their current record 3-5 overall, 0-5 in conference. The game is Saturday, November 8th at noon. As Brandon said, it should be around the 50s as a high. So you're looking somewhere high 40s, maybe low 50s with some sun, a little bit of clouds mixed in.
It's in a valley, so it's
going
to be damp, wet,
an unhappy valley.
Yes.
At Beaver Stadium,
frustrated valley.
Yes, and it's going to be on. This was weird to me. So it's a Fox game. It's a noon game. It's a big noon game, but it is not big noon kickoff.
Yes.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. I don't know if they've ever done that one before. No, they did it. No, Washington was game day last year, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So Washington was game day, but I think the game was on like BTN or something. But yeah, so we get Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt, but we don't get...
Are you a fan of Joel Klatt?
Whatever. I don't mind Joel Klatt. I don't. He's pro IU a lot.
Yeah.
And I like Gus Johnson as long as we're not on the other end of Gus Johnson, if that makes sense.
I like Gus Johnson in March because I'm hyped and he's hyped. I have a hard time matching his energy in September, in October. It's like, buddy, like these games matter, but not this much. But when he's calling an NCAA tournament game, I get into it because I get into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Makes a lot of sense.
We all have that one guy. I think I'm it that like brings too much energy all the time, and that like times that guy is awesome. Like that times like that guy's getting the party going. Like this party wouldn't exist without him. And the other times it's like maybe calm down. It's like 2:00 on a Saturday.
Hey, 2:00 on a Saturday is a great time to get hyped. Hopefully this Saturday at 2:00 we are hyped.
Yes.
Let's go through the line real quick. It opened up low. I hope you got it when you got it. -13.5 for IU was the opening line. It's now up to, as of time of outline, to 15.5. With the over-under set at 48.5, which has to be one of the lower ones that we've seen since Iowa, probably. ESPN FPI giving IU an 82.7% chance.
That seems low, boss. That seems low.
This is where a lot of my reservation from being super confident about Saturday is coming from, because there's still talent on paper on this Penn State team. So I think I don't pay much attention to the FPI. But yeah, 83% rounded up seems about right. I'll take that. We win 83 out of 100 times. I'll take that, because we haven't won very many out of 27 times. Brandon, we're 2-25 all time against Penn State. Previous matchup was in 2023. Did not play last year. We lost 24-33 in what was it was a fairly exciting game, a weird game. Brendan Sorsby had a good game, if I remember right. Donovan McCulley had a good game. Fun little game, but ended disappointingly, as they did most of the time in 2023. IU's largest margin of victory was in 2013, 10 years prior. I was at this game. It's the first game I ever took my wife to, soon to be wife at that point. 44-24 victory. That was a Nate Sudfeld-led IU team, I believe, against, who's at Boston College now? Bill O'Brien, the Bill O'Brien years of Penn State. Couple fun facts. One not so fun. One's fun. It's the first time Penn State has ever played the number 1 and number 2 team in consecutive weeks. So I think IU did that a couple years ago. And then IU's never won at Penn State. Both victories coming at home. One of them everybody knows, the Penix play, the stretch, and then obviously the 2013 blowout. So let me look ahead just a smidge. Yeah, there's no chance. I was going to say there was another stat I had in here that I deleted because of who they play next after IU, but Penn State has not lost 7 consecutive games since 1931. So, and if IU can get them, this will be their 6th straight loss before they go to Michigan State. All right, let's get to it. Do you want to talk anything else here at the beginning? Any of that
Just
stuff there?
Few housekeeping. We've been talking, and this is not me getting ahead of ourselves. This is just a programming note for those that were interested, because you have a reason to at least be interested. The college football playoff schedule has been announced. Have you seen this, Michael?
I have not.
It starts on Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, with the Cotton Bowl. The Cotton Bowl will be played at 7:30. I don't see a path to where Indiana is playing in the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
2 games on Thursday. Thursday, January 1st at noon. The Orange Bowl. And then the one that I think most people, the next 2 are the 2 that Indiana probably should be interested in, Indiana fans, is Thursday, January 1st, also New Year's Day, 4:00 at the Rose Bowl. 4:00 at the Rose Bowl, which will likely be the number 2 versus number 3 team. And then Thursday, January 1st, 8 p.m., will likely be the number 1 overall seed, will be at the Sugar Bowl. The Sugar Bowl being played at Thursday, January 1st at 8 p.m. So the games will be played on the 31st, 1 game on the 31st, 3 games on the 1st at noon, 4, and 8. So.
First round played Christmas Eve?
Before that.
Okay.
December, just like last year, December 19th and December 20th.
Okay, so they're going to do the weekend and then go basically a week and a half until the next round of games.
Exact same schedule as last year.
Okay. All right.
One last
that was
programming
important.
note. This
what was
one
that?
much more fun. And I think you and I have contributed to this list. I sent this in the group chat. Revenue and beer sales nationally. Not a surprise.
Yep.
Not a surprise. Number one by an insane amount, 255,000 units of beer sold in the University of Wisconsin. Over 3 million in revenue by beer alone for the Badgers.
Wild.
Number two, I'm not going to go through the whole list. I just want to give a comparison for just how big of a lead Wisconsin Badgers have. University of Nebraska at $2 million. So the difference between first and second is $1 million in revenue. Your Indiana Hoosiers come after Minnesota and Michigan. Michigan, a much bigger stadium, at 86,000 units of beer sold, $1 million in revenue. Seventh in the country, above universities, I guess above Miami. But the ones that I think we can definitely catch Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee and LSU, probably not. They're a little less than double. So a little bit to get on Tennessee and LSU's level, but top 10 beer drinking fan base. Love that. Love that for us.
Where are you at there? SEC. You got two. You only got two.
Meanwhile, the Big Ten has first, second, fifth, sixth, seventh, 10th, 11th.
There's seven total teams.
Yes. 7 out of the 11 are Big Ten.
And while you were talking, I did confirm that Bryant-Denny Stadium does sell beer in games. So I don't know what you guys are doing down there.
Maybe doing a little more rolling than drinking.
Probably. And other things that, yeah. Well, okay, moving on. Let's talk about Penn State's schedule and kind of their fall to 3-5. So they started super easy, an easier non-conference schedule than IU. By the way, Kennesaw State, Old Dominion, both now bowl eligible after last weekend. Kennesaw State has only lost one game, I believe, all season. And you guys can figure that one out. Nevada, they beat Nevada, won that one 46-11. Nobody cares. Florida International, they won that one 34-0 in a game that Florida International fans are calling a really good loss. Dead serious. Villanova, they beat them, and this one does not matter unless you had Penn State at minus 47.5. Why do I bring that up? Because on the very last play of the game, their third string tight end, I think, made one of the most ridiculous one-handed catches in the back of the end zone, scored a touchdown. There goes your spread. And then their season is gone after that, pretty much. They lose to coked out Dan Lanning in double overtime at home. Everybody knows that game. They lose at UCLA, where UCLA ran for, and I did not know this until today, 269 yards. What did they run against us? 3? Northwestern. No. Northwestern, the end of James Franklin, they lose that game 22-21 in a game that I had turned off. I had turned it off. Penn State had scored. I thought Northwestern had no chance of winning this game. Turned it off. Boom. What did I know? They also lose Drew Aller in that game too, I believe. Then they go to Iowa, and another close one. They lose 24-25, 2 consecutive 1-point losses. That's got to be pretty tough. Iowa ran for 245 yards, including 130 from their quarterback, Gronowski. And now the ship has really started to sink. They go to Ohio State. Was that last weekend? That was last weekend. And they lose 14-38 in a game where they were pretty close for the first quarter and a half or so. But they could not do anything. Julian Sayin had a big game, 20 of 23, 316 yards, 4 touchdowns. And Penn State, who can really only run the ball on offense right now, ran for a whopping 1.8 yards per carry. So now they get IU, and then they finish up the season with a fairly reasonable schedule. At Michigan State, Nebraska, who no longer has Ravioli, and at Rutgers. So I'm going to ask you this now, and I hope it's not a rando. Does Penn State make a bowl?
No, 5-7.
Ooh, you think they lose to either one of those three at the end? Okay.
Yeah, I think Michigan State gets them.
Okay. I think they make it.
We're going to talk about them.
It didn't look very good.
Grunk-Kiemeyer, or it's either Grunk-Kiemeyer or Grunk-Emeyer stinks. So I'm going to give Childs.
I was going to go Grunkemeyer. Yeah.
All
right, let's get in. Let's dive into their offense.
Anymore. He stinks.
Yeah, exactly. He's not good, but he was good. And I'll tell you why rankings don't really matter coming out of high school. All right, on offense, Penn State, not great, Bob, right? 105th in total offense, 49th in scoring offense. They put up a bunch of points early on. 69th in rushing. 69th in rushing.
Nice. Sorry, I was doing Seth math. Sorry.
Okay, that will distract you. And passing 112th at 180 yards per game. Just to give everybody some quick updates, IU moved up in every one of those categories. They're now third in total offense. They are first in the country in points per game. Sixth in rushing offense at 246 yards a game, and 32nd in passing. So believe it or not, even with the lack of passing that happened on Saturday, we moved up. Here's some fun stuff, right? So they were 49th in scoring before Franklin gets fired. So the last two games, they averaged 19 points a game. That will put you at 121st. They're rushing, what you would look at, I guess, is probably their best part of their offense. They averaged 2.8 yards per carry in the last two games. It's 131st. And passing with Grunkemeyer, Grunken, whatever Brandon said, 132nd out of 134. That's 119 yards per game. Now, you've played two very elite defenses, right? In Ohio State and Iowa, but we got a pretty good one too. So let's dive into it. Do you want to talk about LOL, Ethan Grunkemeyer?
So, early Brando Rando, why do teams keep doing this? We've seen this multiple seasons now where a team loses their quarterback, and it was this way under Tom Allen. It was this way under Kevin Wilson. Why do power conferences teams not have good backups? You heard the emphasis of us going out and getting Grant Wilson, right? Like, I love that SIG has backup to backup plans. How did Penn State, who had the best chance to win the national championship this year in 20 years, since the LeVar Arrington season 22, 23 years ago, they roll into this season with a redshirt freshman who's never taken a meaningful snap? So on one hand, dude, bad. But on the other hand, like, this is malpractice by the Penn State football administration. Because you can't just throw a guy, regardless if it's the Grunk or the Gronk, it doesn't matter. You can't expect him to throw into Kinnick and into the horseshoe and be like, good luck. The dude's bad, but he got dealt a bad hand. So I feel bad for him, but he was set up for failure.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about him, give some people some stats and stuff like that. So he's a 6'2" redshirt freshman. He's from Ohio. He was a 4-star recruit.
From Columbus, Ohio.
Yes. Last week was his homecoming, and I guess he had the best game of his career so far, but not good. 4-star overall rated, number 8 in the quarterback class of 2024. In his 2 starts, he's gone 15 of 28 for 93 yards, 2 interceptions. That's good for 48 QBR. And at Ohio State last week, he was 19 of 28. So better, right? A little bit better. 145 yards, a little bit better, and 1 interception. So he's still doing that. No touchdowns. 82 QBR. Here's where he's kind of bad, right? For his career. Now he's played sparingly, right? In mop-up duty, but like not started a game. So since he started in a couple of his mop-up duty parts, here we go. On 3rd and 4th downs, Brandon. Yeah. He's a combined 14 of 23, 135 yards. He's taken 4 sacks, and he's been picked on 3 times. So all 3 of his interceptions this season have come on 3rd and 4th downs, where he's been not good. Here's the part that backs up your whole backup quarterback thing, right? So they recruit well. Penn State recruited well under Franklin, right? They didn't have terrible recruiting classes. They were getting 4- and 5-star recruits. Their 3rd-string quarterback or 4th-string quarterback or 5th-string quarterback at this rate aren't good enough to beat out a wide receiver. So the rumors are that if old Ethan Grunkemeyer is to struggle on Saturday, which fingers crossed that he does, we could see a guy named Liam Clifford play. Now, the last name should sound familiar. He is the brother of the big red dog, Sean Clifford. The problem is, Brandon, he is a wide receiver. He is not a quarterback on the team. So look out for him. He's number 2. They used him, I think, last week in 1 or 2 packages, kind of like a wildcat package. I read some of the post-game press conference or pre-press conference stuff from their coach, and they were asked, he was asked specifically about whether or not he was going to see the field today or this game, and it was kind of indecisive. So, again, this is Penn State we're talking about, not Villanova. All right, let's talk about the one, I guess, shining part of their
one
team,
shining
maybe.
moment.
Yeah, it's a good song. Good song from March. They've got a 2-headed running back room. I was going to say 2-headed monster running back room. I don't know what's happening with Nick Singleton, but compared to Katron Allen, it's almost night and day outside of their touchdowns, right? So Katron Allen, 119 carries on the year, 688 yards, an average of 5.8, which is great, and 10 touchdowns. It's a really good running back. Those are great numbers to have at this point in the season. He'll probably get to 1,000. Nick Singleton, on the other hand, who has hit 1,000 twice in his career. Why am I doing the 6-7? I'm doing the 6-7. He has hit the 1,000-yard mark twice in his career. This is his 4th year. Now he's not going to hit it this season. He is 82 carries, so just as a smidge, like 37 carries less than Katron, but he's 292 yards with a 3.6 average. Now he has scored 7 touchdowns, so they're using him a little bit closer to the goal line. But what is wrong with Nick Singleton, and is Katron Allen the first running back off the board?
No, not Jordan Love. Jeremiah Love is the number 1 running back taken off the board. Katron Allen is probably top 5, maybe even top 3. Man, Nick Singleton's kind of the exact reason why you go out. What is it? Play calling? Is it motivation? Is it exposure to tape? I don't know the X's and O's enough. I haven't watched enough Nick Singleton tape, but this guy went from firmly a draft pick to maybe take a day 3 flyer on talent. But there's a lot of dudes in college football that have a 3.6 average. So you start blending in quite a bit. Katron Allen's a stud, though. No doubt there. That is the guy to circle. You're not starting Grunk, Master Grunk. You're not circling Singleton. I'm going to steal your lead. You're not stealing any of the pass catchers. Bryant Haynes' entire philosophy should be, how does Katron Allen not beat us?
Yeah, and he's going to go against the number 4 rushing defense in the league and in the country, 80 yards a game. I did this Saturday evening before I went to that concert. We were having dinner and some drinks out, and was with my Wisconsin buddy. We were just chatting about the defense and whatever. And I did the Seth math. Again, if you remove the 150-yard runs, I believe, if I remember correctly, I had quite a few drinks. If I remember correctly, we would only average 60 yards per game, which would put us number 1 overall by 2-something yards, which is, I believe, Oklahoma's number 1. But it's an elite rushing defense against one of the top, we'll just call them top 5 running backs in the country. And that's going to be the main thing to do. And as Brandon said, that the wide receiver thing, and I remember pointing this out very specifically in the preseason preview pod, was that this was going to be the area that they would struggle. They don't have a stud. They've got some pieces, right? DeConte Ross, Traber Pena, and tight end Luke Reynolds would be 3 of them, but they don't have a dude, right? We have 2 dudes, but they don't have a dude. They're very similar to Maryland. They're going to spread it out all over the place. They got people over 20-something. I think 5 or 6 guys have over 20 catches. Nobody's hit 30. Nobody's gone over 300 yards receiving. So that's been a struggle for them in the receiver department. Usually they've always got 1 or 2 guys that are going to be NFL players.
Right.
Yeah, but nothing right now. They do have some true freshman raw talent that's there. They've got a 4-star wide receiver that people are asking for him to play. And then they've got another tight end that's a really good player too, but neither one of them have seen the field or going to see the field, chances are, on Saturday. So that's a struggle. And when you don't have a quarterback to throw it to you, it hurts even more. The other part of it, the offensive line, they don't give up a ton of TFLs. They don't give up a ton of sacks, but something's wrong, right? If you have those 2 running backs and you're the 69th best rushing attack in the league, it's not good. Something's off. And I think that will be, as I said last week, I think an area that IU needs to focus on and use to our advantage. Do you want to talk any more Penn State offense?
No, please don't make me talk to a post-Franklin worst Power 4 offense. Please make it stop.
Okay. So I did do a lot of post-Franklin stuff. Which was I wanted to make sure.
A+.
Sure we were talking.
Outlining.
Yes.
Almost said hotlining. I almost said A+ hotlining.
I tried to think real quick of the Drake line, but I couldn't think of it. Hotline bullying. That's what he says. All right, let's go through real quick through their defense, and then I'm going to throw everybody off after I read these. Defensive numbers, not terrible, right? 35th overall in total defense, 41st in scoring, 89th against the run. That could be a problem considering they're playing the 6th best rushing offense in the country, and 14th against the pass. Okay. Here's where it gets a little weird. Against the run in the last 2 games, they rank 128th, 205 yards.
How many yards did we just run for?
367. There you go. Passing offense or passing defense, and this one's not going to sound terrible until I tell you something. Passing defense has gone from 14th to 33rd. They average 192 yards per game. Now, fun fact, your boy, Gronkowski at Iowa threw for 68 yards in a victory. 68. Sayan picked up the slack on that one, and so they still moved down 9 spots. Here's the other fun part, including Iowa. Remember, Iowa, they have dropped to 118th in points per game allowed at 32.5 since James Franklin has been gone. This screams quit, right? Like a lot of complacency, or on the offensive side, it's definitely true, very poor coordination. So the coordinator on the offense he may get fired at the end of this game, honestly, based on what I read today. Two other quick things I want to say, and then I'll kind of turn it over to you real quick. Third down conversions, as far as what they allow, 102nd. They allowed 42% of third down conversions to be turned into first downs. Guess who's number one in the country at turning third downs into first downs?
I don't know, a team with probably one of the best coordinators in the country.
Yes. They're also not your traditional, and this is a good transition, not your traditional Penn State defensive line. They're 96th in sacks. So just under 2 sacks per game, 1.75 to be accurate. No. So they do have studs, though, right? They've got some players who are like what we thought were really good players, and maybe they're just in a bad scheme that's not working for them. It's different. Tom Allen,
first-year coordinator,
knows.
and Jim Knowles.
A good coordinator, but
he was
traditionally, right? Traditionally. But different than Tom Allen. Tom Allen wants to get everybody up the field. He wants to rush the passer. He wants to do everything else. That's not what Knowles does. So honestly, he's wasting a lot of talent on the defensive line. They did get 15 pressures last week is what I saw. I told you I wanted to find that stat. I found it just by reading. So I guess if I read more, I could find these things.
Congrats
but they've got
literacy, bro.
Thank you. They do have some players. Zariah Fisher, Danny Dennis Sutton. That's really what his name is, Danny. And then Dennis Sutton is his last name. On the defensive ends, they're going to get some pressure, or at least try to get pressure on Nando. Then they've also got a big-time stud in the middle in Zane Durant, who I would say everybody had pretty much penciled in as a first-team All-Big Ten player. I'm not sure if he'll get there, but he'll be the guy on the inside. He's athletic. He can stuff the hole. He's a good player. All three of them are good players. The scheme is just not what they're there to do, I guess. Anything on their defensive line that you want to add?
Man, the names, a lot of these you'll remember from recruiting. A lot of these guys you'll remember, like, they've just been there for a long time. How are they not producing? It's got to be a combination of scheme and motivation and discipline. I mean, I would have never thought that a defense with Dennis Sutton and Durant would be 89th in the country. They're going to give up 200-plus yards on Saturday. Yep, and they might have 2 to 3 NFL players on that line. It doesn't make any sense when you look at the talent versus production, but that's kind of what poorly coached teams get. So that's pretty much all I can chalk it up to.
Yeah, and just wait till we talk linebackers here. I don't know who these guys are. I don't know how much Penn State football you've watched, but Amari Campbell leads the team in tackles. Dominic DeLuca, number 3 in the team with tackles. Those are going to be your main guys. I don't think you want to talk about them, but I'll give you a chance. Do you?
No, I mean they're your solid. They're not doing anything incredible. Their tape isn't going to light it up, but they're going to get the jobs done. They remind me a lot of the Michigan State linebackers, to be honest. And how are our running backs doing in SEM?
Pretty well. I would say, I mean, again, there's a lot of talent on the front. There's a decent amount of talent on the back. Sakeem Wheatley, he'll be an NFL player. The safety back there, he's number 2 in the team in tackles. He's also tied for the team lead in interceptions, LOL, with 1. 4 players on the team, 5 players total, have 1 interception. That's the leader. AJ Harris and Dewan Lane are the 2 guys that you should see on the outside starting. And then they've got what's his name? King Mack. Is that his name? That will be out there too in the defensive backfield. But again, they've got a highly ranked pass defense at, what were they at? 14. They do a decent job at holding on to the ball offensively outside of their quarterback. And they don't do a ton of turning other teams over. They're just kind of solid back there, right? Do you want to talk defensive backfield or you want to keep rolling?
Again, I mean, look what just happened last week. Again, the secondary is the same as the D line. It's all the names, it's all the talent with none of the production. Julian Sayin, Carnell Tate, and Jeremiah Smith just had a freaking field day against these guys. So again, it's got to be scheme, it's got to be execution, because it certainly isn't talent. And I expect big numbers everywhere against this defense.
All right. Well, I hope so. And I guess we'll find out a little bit later on the prediction side of it. Now, let's let everybody reset real quick. We'll take a super fast break. Then we'll do our IU players to watch. We'll lose you guys some money. I think we did pretty well on the bets last week. And then we'll do our predictions or randos if you got any, and then we'll get out of here. So give us just a minute. We'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by your go-to expert in the Indiana real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in a home right here in the heart of the Hoosier country, Garrett Lawton with True Blood Real Estate is the agent that you need. He's not just a real estate agent, he's a Hoosier fan just like you. And Garrett knows Indiana inside and out, from Bloomington to Indianapolis and everywhere in between. Plus, his personalized service makes the buying and selling process smooth and stress-free. So if you're ready to make a move, give Garrett a call at 317-410-8851 or visit his website at lawton-realty.com. Okay, we're back. I don't know what that noise is, but we're going to roll with it. IU players to watch, Brandon, on offense. Just do offense and defense, and then I'll follow up with you. What do you got on offense?
Yeah. Can I say what I want to happen and then what I think will happen?
Yeah, sure. I mean, sure. Okay. This is not my podcast. It's your podcast too. So
our podcast. I want to see Nando and his Heisman campaign try to go toe-to-toe with Julian Sayin. Right now they are tied at plus 225 or plus 250, depending what book you look at. And Sayin just torched Penn State. 20 for 23, 300 plus yards, 4 touchdowns. So I want Nando to come out and also throw for 300 and 4 touchdowns. I want, again, doesn't all have to be through the air, but 4 total touchdowns. I want Nando to put on an absolute show in Happy Valley for IU's first win ever there. I think that gets the Heisman voters notice, just because what did we just get done talking about? There's a ton of big names on Penn State's defense. If Nando can go do that there, I think that's huge. So my players to watch is Nando, just because, I also want to shut your brother up for all the not Heisman stats he's not putting in, despite him only playing about 65 to 70% of the game. I want Nando to have an absolute nuclear game.
Yeah, I was going to look up Julian Sayin's average pass from that game, because I did read that he threw the ball deep on them a lot. Yes. Yeah, he averaged 13.7 yards per completion. Yes. 20 of 23, so 20 completions, 316 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interception, and a QBR of 99.1. And then, of course, his robot coach, somebody typed into his back, said, make sure you propaganda him out for being in the Heisman Trophy, whatever. And, of course, he comes out there and, hopefully we can do the same. Sig might actually come out and say something about it, but I don't know. See, I kind of had Nando as number 1, too. I think if we win this game and win the game we have been winning, the way we have been winning, I think you see a lot of him being black and a lot of ball control. The less their best player in Katron Allen has any sort of chance to do any damage to IU, I think the better. I do fear this famous last words, right? Do fear this offense a lot less than what I feared Maryland. But again, picking on maybe their easily their weakest side of the defense is their rushing defense. And that's what we do. It's just what we do. But I think we use this a lot more early and then throw on them afterwards. What about defense?
Defense for me, again, we got to get the Grunk Master Grunk in trouble. And I want Kamara to have the exact same week I think he is a demon. He's putting a demon tape up. He's just not getting the stats. But games are played with your eyes, not in a stat sheet. Let the demon cook.
So I'm going to stick with the football theme of the day in the state of Indiana, and I'm going to go. I had Kamara, but I'll switch it up. I'll go with a stud corner, right? I'm going to go with D'Angelo Pons. You want to talk about a guy that hasn't been putting up the big time, popping off the screen stats, but that's because people don't throw the ball at him. I think this guy's gonna throw some picks, and he's gonna get one of them. I think maybe two. I think Pons is gonna have a good game. I mean, you could go a lot of different places. You could go the linebackers to see what they can do. Is Aiden gonna play? Is Aiden not gonna play? That's really about it. I mean, I honestly, the defensive line, they're going to get pressure. We've gotten pressure on everybody all season. I don't see that being a problem. But, yeah, that's a good shout for Kamara. Let's go around the Big Ten. What do you got?
Real quick, I got some honorable mentions here. I want to give both, again, just because of Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. I think we play a lot of 4-3 in this game. I think we see a lot of that defensive setup. So I expect a lot out of Bones, Aiden, and Hardy. Wouldn't be surprised if each one of them puts 6, 7, 8 tackles apiece up on Saturday.
Yeah, they're going to be important. We didn't talk about Landino. Did you say anything about Landino there?
No, I didn't. I think it was the first time he wasn't my player to watch, just because, again, I think Kamara got the message from Sig, and I think Kamara leads our defense down the stretch.
All right, let's get into defense. Interior defensive line would have been a good shout. So, yeah, let's get into the Big Ten games of the week. We have a Friday game. Don't love Friday games, but we have a Friday game. You got Northwestern going to LA to play USC. USC overrated as always. They're ranked 20th in the country, favorite by 14.5. I'm gonna double this one up, and I think you're gonna hate it, but I'm gonna double it up. I'm gonna go Northwestern to cover and the under.
Okay. I would take the exact opposite. I think USC possibly gets to the over-under themselves. This is a game Lincoln Riley the flashes, right? These are the games that bad coaches do really well in. Looking at you, Matt Rule. So yeah, no, I think USC wins by 1 billion.
All right, I'm gonna go to the next game. This is a fun one. It's not as fun because Seth's not here. Ohio State, number 1 in the country in some people's eyes, not in most, but goes to West Lafayette. There will be a lot of red in that stadium. Ohio State favorite by 29.5. That's not enough. I want Ohio State minus 29.5, and the over/under is only set at 48.5. What you said about USC getting the over by themselves, I can see Ohio State doing the same. Give me the over and Ohio State minus 29.5.
Yeah, weird. The over's a lock. It's my lock of the week. I think Purdue's going to put on some points late. But yeah, Ohio State's going to win this comfortably.
Yeah. And if they don't, and we do, I don't know, we'll flip-flop. Maryland. This was a surprising line to me. Maryland goes to Rutgers. Rutgers favorite by 1.5 at home. And an over-under that is fat, 58.5. Rutgers doesn't have a defense. Apparently, Maryland doesn't really have a defense. But I'm going to go Maryland on the spread there.
Yeah, I'm going to take the spread. You're taking.
I'll take the money line. Sorry.
There we go. You're a better gambler than that. I'm also taking Maryland money line just because there is talent. We saw talent on the defensive line. We saw talent at the cornerback position. We know there's some offensive firepower there. We saw it last week. And I think with Loxley gone, there's a little bit of rallying the troops. I don't have the stats in front of me. But I think teams, after they fire a coach, get a little pep in their step. So yeah, Maryland will be in almost every single one of my parlays. Maryland money line on Saturday.
Okay, I think you're gonna hate this one too. Oregon, number 6 in the country, goes to Iowa, probably the hottest team, or what? Not the hottest team. We've got to be right there, but one of the hottest teams in the country. Oregon favorite by -6.5, with an over/under of 41.5, a complete opposite of the Rutgers and Maryland game. Here's what I like. I like Iowa to win the game, and I like the under. I think it's going to be very similar to the IU game. The reason I'm taking Iowa to win the game is just out of spite. Remember when I said I like Joel Klatt? Joel Klatt did I believe it was him, did a full college football playoff preview, the full thing, ran it all the way through. Had the 9 seed Oregon going to play the number 1 seed IU and upsetting us to play Ohio State in the semifinals. Therefore, I hope Oregon loses the rest of their games the rest of the season. So I'm going Iowa at home.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take the points there. I'm right with you. I don't hate it. Iowa's extremely hard to play. I wish this was 7.5. I hope the line creeps up. It's one of those I'm going to be waiting until like 11:50 to see if money pours in on Oregon, because I would love another point. Would love if it would even get to maybe Iowa +8. But yeah, give me Iowa in the points. I do think Oregon pulls it out, but I think this has got 20-13, 20-17 written all over it.
Yeah. 2, I don't know. I think 2 should be pretty easy games to pick. I can't believe the last game line is what it is, but number 24, Washington goes to Wisconsin. For Wisconsin, it's had a terrible season, now a terrible schedule where they can't even get a noon game against a West Coast team. Washington favorite by -11.5. I don't know why I keep saying minus. Washington favorite by 11.5. Over under 44.5. I'll just take Washington in the points.
Oh, 100%. Wisconsin's dead. You bet against Wisconsin every week.
Yep. They're going to drink beer, though. They're going to drink a lot of beer. Nebraska. This is the one I'm confused about. Nebraska, without their quarterback for the rest of the season, going to I don't know, aren't they coming off of a bye, I believe, UCLA. UCLA only favorite by 2.5. This is where my little tease box comes in, Brandon. I like UCLA -6.5 in this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, losing their quarterback. We've seen what happened with Penn State, with other teams when they lose their quarterback. Things just kind of fall apart quickly, especially add in Matt Rule, can't coach at all, especially and teams going out west. I like the tease. I like you at UCLA.
All right. There you go, guys. Randos. Brandon. Drop them.
Yeah. So we've already talked about the number 2 quarterback thing, so we don't need to go into that. But since we were just talking gambling, you've already mentioned the lines went up 2 points. Where do you think the line ends?
16.5.
16.5. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it gets up one more.
I would agree with you there, and I'm still taking Indiana. I think if it gets above 17, I like 17 and under. I think 17 and under, and we'll get to my predictions soon of why I think it's going to be that. But yeah, I like 17 and under there for Indiana. All right, putting you on the spot. I really wish Seth was here because I know you don't follow this as closely as him and I do. But it is August 2026. Who is the head coach of Penn State?
They can't do it twice in a row, can they? Do they take Vanderbilt's coach again?
So supposedly Auburn's going to back up the Brinks truck for him.
Okay.
I don't
then
see
my
how
next
it doesn't end up in the SEC.
My next guess is a surprising one to see his name even being thrown around anywhere from where he's at right now. And unless it's changed recently, unless they've come out and done what we did with Cignetti, Elko from Texas A&M.
It's really good. I'm going with Brian Kelly.
God, that would be such a joke.
I'm going with Brian Kelly, but I like Elko. I just don't get why he would leave the SEC, why would he leave the money. It seems like a horizontal move, to be honest, for Elko. But I do think his path is probably easier through the Big Ten than it is the SEC. But yeah, Elko's a good shout. But I'm going Brian Kelly.
Who goes to LSU? Does Kiffin move? That's another one. Does Kiffin go to Florida? Does he go to LSU? Does he go to probably
He
Florida
definitely
State?
leaves. Florida and LSU are both better jobs. I kind of think he wants to hold out for Alabama. I think he wants Alabama. Dan Lanning could go to LSU.
Oh, why? That's a thing?
Yeah, absolutely a thing.
Whoa. I guess Cristobal did leave and go to Miami, which was a major downgrade in the end. But wow, that would be shocking.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Right.
Who cares?
Moving on to, we already are close, so I'll call it 0.5 commits. LeVar Keys has been Cristobal, the wide receiver commit of Penn State, has been committed or has been Cristobal to IU. How many other Penn State commits do we get? We've hosted a safety. We're hosting a running back. Other players are going to decommit. If I set the over-under at 1.5 Penn State commits, are you taking the over or under?
I'm taking the over because I want the running back.
Mickens.
Yeah, that's it. I want him. I don't know, but I thought there was wasn't there an offensive lineman that's going to come visit too?
So, again, guys, if you're not paying $10 a month for Peegs, go to Peegs. This information I'm getting from Brian Doan, not Matt Weaver, but they're both total professionals. What they have said, and I won't say the names because I know people at Peegs don't like when I verbatim. But there was a Washington State commit and then the Penn State commit that both wanted to come to IU. IU said, we're no longer interested in you. We have our eyes set on others.
Let's go.
So I think there's just going to be so much freaking movement, both in high school and portal, and IU doesn't have that many spots open, to be honest. At least in this high school recruiting class. I think we'll have a ton for the portal. But yeah, no, I'd hammer that over 1.5. I think we get something like 3. If you're assuming 1 right now.
And I refresher, Mickens is like a top 3, right? He's like overall running back. I think he's like
I'm not quite sure how high he is there. I'm not quite sure how high he is. Easy to look.
What else you got? Yes, it is.
Okay. So, we got in my mind, I'm going to start a conspiracy. We got a little bit of a Tom Allen curse going on. He obviously gets fired at Indiana, goes to Penn State. That coach gets fired. He goes to Clemson. Dabo's on the hot seat. Are you putting your tinfoil hat on and saying there's a little bit of a Tom Allen curse going on?
A little bit. It doesn't help the curse theory when your coach, being Dabo, comes out in his press conference and says, I'm going to get fired. Just fire me now. Look, I see him back there. It points to the athletic director in the back of the room like he's waiting for him to fire him. Like, that was, if you guys haven't seen that or heard that, look up Dabo Sweeney's post-game press conference from Saturday because it's hilarious. This guy sucks. But no, I don't know. Tom Allen, good guy. Just I think you're probably right.
Yeah. All right. Kind of rapid fire these next couple. IU basketball starts tomorrow. Are you watching it? Yes or no?
Tomorrow is Wednesday. Time of recording, that would be today. But time of podcast drop, that would be today. There are no sports happening that matter really, football wise. So, I guess I'll watch it if it's like on normal TV. I'm not going to go out of my way to purchase anything to watch it. But yes, it is.
No, it's on regular BTN. Can you
Okay.
name 5 IU basketball players on this roster?
No, I can name one.
Okay.
And it's
and please don't do this. This will maybe be a fun off-season game. You would beat Seth and I. But I'm just curious, how many of the 85 IU football players can you name?
I would say if you gave me a roster with just numbers, do I get positions or just numbers?
Positions.
You give me numbers and positions, I could do everything probably
I bet you'd get low 40s.
Oh, no. I was thinking 60s somewhere.
Wow. I think I could get into the 40s.
I think you could get in the 40s. Yeah. Seth might do pretty well because he has to do a lot of that live tweeting.
Yeah.
So he has
also, I think people that have the video game, like when I used to upload the rosters in NCAA 14, I used to know it way better. But like I haven't played a video game in probably half a decade.
Try to remember that, by the way. That would be a fun little exercise.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a mid-April, May when we got Nathan to talk about.
What about bye week?
Okay.
You could do bye week.
Real quick, what should I do for the game on Saturday? Should I watch it at home? Should I go out to a bar? Should I try to convince someone to recreate your house? What should I do on Saturday? I'm kind of like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm not in Bloomington. I'm not at your house. What should I do?
It's not really my fault, but it's kind of my fault that we're not going to be there. I did tell your wife, I think, I don't know if you were there or not. I was like, I'll just give you guys the garage code. You guys can just come watch it by yourselves in the house.
About that Saturday.
But I wouldn't go to a bar. I would go to a bar afterwards. You just never know what you're going to get at the bar. You never know if you're going to get sound on. You don't know if you're going to get a good spot. You don't know, if there's going to be yucky Penn State people there. So I would say home where you can yell and scream and do everything else you need to do. And then, go out and have a drink afterwards.
There we go.
Or go to Briggs's house. Either one.
He will actually be in Washington, D.C. He's a Maryland guy. And he was so pumped to watch Jaden Daniels play. And then his elbow popped out of his.
Ouch.
So he will be going to the Commanders Lions game and will be in. So no, that's not an option. Not an option.
Okay.
Everyone who I watched sports with this weekend is gone. So that was kind of the reason behind my question. Last question for me before we get the predictions. Is this the busiest fall you've ever had? Between your boys' sports and concerts and obviously IU football, I feel like you are so busy all the time.
It's going to get worse. Basketball starts this week, Thursday. First practice
I don't
is on
see
Thursday.
you after November. So, I only need you for, one more month.
Yeah. So I've got basketball starts Thursday. Then the games start the following Saturday, which I will be at Wisconsin. As an assistant coach, I will miss the first game of the season. And then trying to think, I've got my cousin's wedding the following weekend after that. So I think I'll miss that game as well.
You're on bye.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll miss that basketball game as a coach.
Oh, gotcha.
And then, man, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to have basketball going coaching-wise, coaching both the 5 and the soon-to-be 7-year-old first and kindergarten is what I should say. First grade and kindergarten basketball teams. I'm coaching both of them. So it will be a lot of fun.
And for those that don't get the joke, I've made the joke on this podcast before. Bragg and I are absolute best friends from September to November. Then we don't see each other until March. We see each other the entire month of March and then don't see each other again to September. It's the weirdest, strangest friendship in the history of the world. So if people thought, oh, you're not going to see Bragg again after November, literally no. But that's the way we work, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
That's not true, though. We'll go to some bowl games or something. But I get what you're saying. We're going to see each other in first weekend. I'm not going to get that far ahead. Nope. Not going to do that. Okay. Is that it?
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Time for predictions. I don't think we got one from Seth. So we'll just do it.
Is this Seth's worst season of just he's having a Purdue type season. I mean, an 0-9 performance out of Seth podcasting this season.
It's been a weird schedule. So as much as I don't want to defend him, it's been a weird podcasting schedule. I'm going to say he's going to think Penn State 17, IU 52. There you go. What do you got?
So they just put up 14 in the horseshoe. I think they score slightly more points than that. I think they get to 20. I think Indiana get Penn State just put up 38. I think we score slightly less than that, 37. If you heard me earlier, I like 13.5. I like 15.5. I like 16.5. IU 37, Penn State 20. That's a lot of points for a bad offense. I just think, again, I watched a lot of that Penn State. Grunkmeyer did not have to really throw a pass. Katron Allen just carried that team on their back for both touchdown drives. I could very much see that happening on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't have as much faith in their offense as it sounds like you might. I'm going to bump my IU score up a bit because I think we'll be able to turn them over. And if you didn't notice last week, turnovers turn into points. Therefore, I'm going to say it's close in the first quarter, but the final score, Penn State 13, IU 41. I think it's late. It's a late pull away, maybe a pick six, maybe a close inside their own 20 fumble, something like that, right? But I think we stay stout on defense. I don't think that place is going to be your traditional Beaver Stadium for a home game and intimidating and loud. I don't see it. And I feel like they've given up. I hope that's true, but we'll see. So there we go. Seth, who's not here, says 52-17. You say 37-20. I say 41-13. We've been wrong all season. See how it goes. All right. That's it. So be sure to check out the pod on Twitter, Instagram at Happy Hour IUFB. Be sure to download, rate, review, and follow on all the platforms. Send Seth direct messages with all your 1-star reviews, all the 5-star reviews. Make sure you leave those on the platform you're listening on. And that's it. Until then, we will chat. Somebody will chat on Sunday night about the game.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Peace.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.